Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
I like these tools. In fact, I kind of, in some ways, I kind of like it better than some of the color grading tools that DaVinci has here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so well, we're here today. I have a company that reached out to me called Dehancer, who does basically, who does film emulation plugins for programs like DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere Pro, things like that. They also have plugins on the photo side as well for Photoshop, Lightroom, and all that. Well, they reached out to me, wanted to know if I wanted to test out some of their plugins. So this is what we have today with DaVinci Resolve, and I just wanted to get your input, seeing as how you've worked with film a lot more than I have over the years. So they've got a lot of different films, a lot of different effects. So I just wanted to know if they actually translated or if it was what you've experienced in your time working with film.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anytime I see tools like this, I'm always excited to see what they've come up with. Something that we're going to explore on here that you were telling me about earlier was the ability to export this as a LUT, which is, I'm really excited about, and we'll get into that in a second, but it's going to allow us to have a show LUT. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so if you do your test footage ahead of time, this might be something to look at. So, All right, well, let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Once you first drop it on, it looks like all sorts of craziness just because everything is set to base.
Right.
And you haven't...
I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, you haven't said anything yet. So, like I said, the first thing that I like to do is I will scroll all the way down and deselect all the tools. I don't know if you did that or not yet. Yeah. Just deselect or disable.
There you go.
All the tools, and then that brings it to a more manageable look, and then you can go and set.
There we
and
go.
Then you can start fine tweaking.
So from what I can tell already, and I haven't had a chance to look over the literature provided with this, but it looks like this thing is really meant for footage that's shot in either log or raw, which is what this top part is for.
Yeah.
Although it does, obviously, if you choose 709 or 720, let's say, for example, you shot with a smartphone. Most of the new iPhones and Android phones will shoot natively in 2020. So that would obviously be something that you have to put in the input selector to get it right.
Exactly.
But this is kind of cool. I like this. So far it's pretty good. And I like the fact that it brings up your exposure and temperature.
Yeah, it's just like a base color correction, I would say. Yeah.
Which, although DaVinci has something like that, if you have raw files, as we can see here, it's disabled because this is log footage. It's nice to be able to have those tools over here.
The next thing that I would do after the input is I would actually choose the type of film stock that I'm working in.
Okay, that is neat. It's got quite a few. Well, let's go 500T. I like 500.
Okay. Yeah. Well, even though we're outside, you're gonna go T. Oh, just for people who don't know. So when you see the D and the T on the film, that either stands for daylight or tungsten, meaning indoor or outdoor.
Well, I think given the fact that it didn't adjust this color any.
Oh, did you enable it?
Oh.
Yeah, because you had to. That's one thing that would trip me up too. But yeah.
I don't think it actually applies. It looks like what it's doing here is like it's not applying the blue filter. Otherwise, all this would go blue. So I think what it's doing is it's just literally doing a like a color pass on it.
Okay.
Or was it grain emulation? Assuming that, because obviously since we're not working in raw, it can't change the white balance anyway. So. But this is pretty neat. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this. So this is great, actually. I like the fact that they have so many. They have Ilford. See what they have in Fuji, because Fuji is the Fuji
that Fuji Print Industrial 100. That's the one that I'm really liking. If you scroll up a little bit to that one right there.
Oh yeah. Okay, and then film developer. I wonder if this is
So I think that would emulate the bath maybe
exactly
that it goes through. Yeah. So film takes a bath in its development process where it gets rolled through a bunch of different liquid chemicals.
Yeah, that's where you get that bleach bypass and color separation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Film compression. Oh, this is neat. Okay, so
what is that? Because that I didn't understand all too well.
This actually has more to do with the scanning process. Because there's the idea is that film, especially back in the analog days, would have such a wide dynamic range that was bigger than a lot of the media that we had at the time. And even when you did your final print to film, you would lose some dynamic range, just because of the way it works. So this is kind of neat because it a lot of times you want to compress the image, as cool as these manufacturers will say that we have 15, 17 stops of range. It's not always that useful, and it doesn't really make for that pleasing of an image. Sometimes you really want to squeeze it in. So this is kind of neat that it emulates sort of that film curve.
Yeah.
Trying to see what we can do here.
Yeah, in the waveform.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, the tonal range.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this actually, this kind of brings back some interesting memories.
Oh.
So in the first wave of digital cinema cameras, which came out in 1999, the way you would adjust color is with these three settings, and you'd have this little matrix, and you would. It wasn't as easy as moving a little slider like this. It was a little more complicated, but this is how you would create your looks, if you can imagine that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you just slowly dial it. Yeah, there you go. You just slowly dial it in. Whoa, that's a little too much. Wow, that is so wild. I like these tools. In fact, I kind of, in some ways, I kind of like it better than some of the color grading tools that DaVinci has here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna turn that off for now. Yes, film grain.
Oh, yes.
So this is a hard one because what's happening with film grain is that when the little silver halide particles detect light, they'll clump in different ways depending on whether it's a dark or light area. And so most grain, which I believe is probably what this plugin does, is it has a pattern of a particular film stock. But what it doesn't emulate, and there's only one plugin that I'm aware of that does it, is that depending on the color and the luminosity, the grain will be different. So it's not a uniform grain pattern throughout the image.
Oh.
That would be real film grain.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, there's only one plugin that I'm aware of that does that, and it's very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
However, with that said, I don't think most people are going to be that picky.
Yeah.
So, yeah. See,
you see what it does to the waveform too when you disable it real quick. Oh
yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. It's funny though, because if you look at this image that we have here, like even on my face, which has no detail whatsoever, which is actually true in real life. I have no detail.
Oh, yeah.
It almost adds additional texture to my face, which had no texture.
Yeah.
So this is actually what I like about film grain. So all cameras, digital cameras produce noise, and what the Arri cameras have decided to do is they allow you to choose different film grain inspired noise patterns.
Gotcha.
So some people thought that this was a feature that you would turn on and it would screw up your image because it bakes in a look. But really what they're actually doing is that they're adjusting the way the camera deals with noise. So most cameras will try to smooth it out and denoise something. And when they do that, that's when you get the loss of detail, right?
Blurry mush of colors. Right. Yeah.
So adding this I think makes a huge difference. And like I said, even though it's not like real the way film actually works, it's enough to I think make a difference and just make it.
The film grain is up the top.
Yeah. This is halation.
Yeah. But you can go up and so then you can.
There we go.
Yeah. You've got all the different types with their respective ISO ranges as well.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you can change the amount of said film, which that I believe just either adds or subtracts to the pattern that there is.
The amount.
When you're changing the amount.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess we'd have to go back to 100% here.
Yeah.
And check it out, but yeah. Yep.
So as you go, it just
Yeah, I think I'll leave it at its default. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But even just a little bit like this, I chose the 65 stock, obviously, because it's finer grain. But even that, huge difference.
Yeah.
Because now there's tonality in my face, which there wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to halation. Now this is kind of fun, actually. So halation's always been an interesting thing with film, and over the years they've gotten better with their backing materials and stuff to try to reduce the amount of halation. But it is normally something, obviously, that we would add with a filter in front. So I'm curious to see what this does. Oh, you even have color fringing too. But you can see the halation a little spill around the edges.
Yep, pulling up.
That is really neat.
Mm-hmm. And I was saying, like, with halation and bloom, I think those are the two effects that actually sell the fact that this could actually be shot on film, because I think those are two looks that are distinct to shooting on film that you don't get with the digital camera unless you have some sort of filter that you put in front of it.
Yep, there it is. You can see see the edges.
Yeah, you can see all the.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, bloom. Yeah, you were talking about this earlier. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, I can see it. In fact, we don't even need to. There we go.
Yeah, you don't even need to. Bloom is everywhere.
There it goes.
Oh yeah, especially in brighter environments, you definitely it definitely comes out a little bit more.
This is one that I love playing around with. Of course, is film damage.
Yeah.
I guess we can add a lot of jitter.
Oh yeah. Well, the jitter is interesting because I don't know if it's very subtle, but it didn't seem to.
Yeah.
I mean, the damage came up, but the jitter, I guess. Well, here, bump up the jitter in the total amount just to see if you can.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. Really,
because I thought it would be, I thought it would be a little bit more, but.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to do much. But I do like the
but you get more with another effect that we're about to come to in a little bit, which is the gate weave. Yeah. I think you get more movement of the frame with that.
Film breath. Hey.
Now the film breath, what is that? Because I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. Okay. And that would be something that would happen in the development process, I'm guessing.
No, this is a bad gate, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, it's where the exposure is not.
So it's light leaking and all that. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple reasons why it might cause that. I mean, the other possibility, of course, is the film stock's gone bad.
Gotcha. And that's an interesting point. Is I don't know if you called it, but within the list of film stocks that they have, some of the stocks that you could choose from were actually in parentheses expired film stocks.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. Well, no, all the way up in the if you scroll back up to the types of film, start all the way at the top.
Oh, expired.
Yeah, see, and it gives it like an actual like day or a date
nice.
of when it was expired, which I found that interesting.
I didn't even see this, but yeah, it's got a little bit of a push pull.
Yep, as it goes through. Yep,
that is really neat.
So that's what the breadth is. If it gives you, I guess, an expired film type look.
Yeah, exactly. Look, kind of a not properly. Yeah.
Okay. And there's the gate weave.
Yes, here we go. Okay.
There you go. And of course it zooms in a little bit because Bixley is it's like a form of film stabilization, but it's film destabilization, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll give you an extra little bit of shake because like I said before, film as it goes through the gate, it's not a one-for-one perfect
there it
up
is.
And down movement. It'll shudder back and forth.
Yeah, there were some film cameras, especially ones used in VFX stuff, that had highly precise register pins to make sure there was virtually no gate weave. Obviously because they were going to be using them for composites. But certainly some of the cameras that have been used for a while, and when we're starting to show signs of wear, you'd get some of that. I can't remember which movie I was watching the other day, but I noticed the opening scene had a lot of gate weave in it. So you could tell that the B unit went out there with an older camera or something just to shoot the B-roll stuff. Vignette, of course.
Yeah, overscanning, the vignetting.
Oh, this is kind of neat. So this, okay, yeah.
So it gives you your false colors and all that.
That is a really cool tool.
And that's funny, as you can leave that on as you're making all of your tweaks with your other effects, just to make sure you're still in the proper range.
Yeah, it looks like our exposure is good.
So, and I think the output is basically just the
much
total,
of the effect.
Yeah, the effect that you want on your film. So
no effect, lots of effect. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is what we were talking about, the LUT generator. Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure out what this is for. I'm kind of curious to see what their intention was, but because you can always come over here and generate a LUT directly from here. But I would imagine that if you have several nodes here and all you wanted was just this one effect. And I think you and I were talking about this too. It's like, I don't think it's going to translate the
I was wondering
masking and grain options, but I think it will give you the colorimetry.
Well, the grain, I guess the grain and like the film damage would be the same type of effect. Yeah, because I was wondering if it would translate those effects onto the LUT. Say if you wanted to have this as a show LUT,
right,
to run in your camera, if it would run the film damage or the film grain effects. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to try that out and see.
Yeah, I'd love to see what it does. My gut feeling tells me it's not going to. I mean, I'm not an expert on LUTs, but at least from what I know about it, it's a very much a color thing. So. But that is kind of neat. And then, of course, the options.
Quality. Yeah.
Slow.
That's when you're when you're exporting it and all that. Yeah.
So probably have to have a good processor for this.
You definitely. Yeah, it is definitely CPU, GPU intensive. As you can see, as you're playing it back, that it didn't play in real time because you have to either render it in your timeline. Actively render it in your timeline to see it, or just render it out in your project, and then you'll basically see.
This is pretty neat.
Yeah.
I overall I really like it. I'm curious to see just how far you can push something like this. But it is pretty nice. I like the fact that it's subtle.
Yeah,
because that's really the whole point of the film look.
Well, yeah, I definitely am excited getting to use this, like I said, just with drone footage in particular, because like I said, you can put a drone with a film camera in the sky, but you're going to have a lot of money flying through the air. It's going to be a big drone. So you can save yourself a little bit of money and just get this plug in and have all the granular effects and controls you want.
Yeah, this is great. It's got my approval anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming and checking the tool out and then giving us your insight on all the different film effects and the stocks and stuff that they have.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me. As like I said, I didn't know what to expect when I got here.
Yeah. With that, I guess we'll bid y'all fair adieu while we actually dive deeper into this, and we're going to try and see if we can generate some LUTs for our camera, actually.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right. Peace.